Welcome, welcome, welcome to T3. We're glad that you guys are here, both watching and here. And I'm looking at the video and I've got an incredible tan. Let me see if I can fix that. That's closer to my color, but I'll appreciate a little extra tan. So you guys, when you come back later and you can check out the video, like, wow, you're looking tan. He went to the Bahamas for fall break. Shoot. Hey, anyways, super glad to be here with you guys, and I'm glad that we have an opportunity to have a conversation, and love to hear from you guys also that are jumping in on the stream. Feel free to comment and to interact, and we would love for this to feel like a conversation and not just some floating head talking at you the whole time. So one more time, welcome. My name is Jonathan, and I get to serve here with Chi Alpha, and it has been a privilege these last several years. And we're going to just jump right in, but I've got a probing question just to kind of get things going. And again, you guys in the chat, jump in and share. I want to know, ladies, this is a question directed to our ladies. Ladies, what qualities do you look for in a guy?
Oh, tall, dark, and handsome.
Tall, dark, and handsome? What? If you ain't tall, dark, and handsome, you're not on the list. All right. Gentlemen in the room and online, don't be offended. Don't be offended. We're inviting them to be honest. What else, ladies? What qualities are you looking for in a dude?
Honest and hardworking.
Honest, hardworking, good.
I like a nice Christian boy who has a good relationship with the Lord.
You want some Jesus lover. Someone is specifically looking for Indiana Irwin. So I don't know. I think he's taken, ladies. I think he's taken adventurous, yes, trustworthy, nice, communicates well. Ladies, you may have to give dudes just a minute on that communication front because we communicate well, dudes speak. So it's just not ladies speak, and like that's a whole nother world. So I think that you can have a really great communicator, but he got to learn your language, and you got to learn his language. So that's fair. That's fair. A couple more. What? There may or may not be a request in the chat for their farts not to smell. If you cook real well and you feed them good things, maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Our credit scores have to match.
Say it again.
Our credit scores have to match.
Credit scores have to match. All right, that's specific. That's specific. All right. Okay, this is fun. This is fun. All right, now let's turn it. Guys, I want to hear from you. What qualities are you looking for in a lady?
Speak up.
Tall, blonde, and dark.
Tall, blonde, and dark. Nice. Oscar, what are you looking for?
Nice woman.
She gotta be nice.
Yeah,
If she's rocking around smacking folks all the time, there's a problem.
yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I get that. I get that. Godly, caring, involved. Nice, nice.
Karen's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. That she cares for you. That's a good prereq, right? That you actually care about me. Did I see hiking? Yeah, I see you, Levi. Getting some hiking. What? Nice. Beautiful, huge lover of Jesus. Yes, that's important. That's important. Something while we're just completely off topic for a second, whatever the qualities are that you're looking for when you begin to enter into a relationship, I recommend that you be willing to love them in that moment and forever, and not with some expectation that they're somehow going to change. I think one of the biggest disappointments of looking through some of these qualities, it's not that you've got to have your A+ and all of the boxes checked, but the boxes need to be checked to the degree that you can live with that. And if you can't live with that, you should never start that. Because when we enter into a relationship to modify somebody, the relationship from the beginning is selfish. So we just need to rethink that a little bit. So all these qualifications are great. That was just a free tidbit for you guys. All right, these are wonderful. Final question, and this is open to both genders. I want to hear, what are qualities do you think Jesus looks for in a follower?
Somebody who tries their best.
Someone who's trying their best. That's good. It's working hard. I feel that.
Selfless.
Selfless? Whew, that's big. That's big. I'll let you know when I get there. I am not there.
Someone who's faithful and just keeps showing up.
Yeah, faithful, like they're going to follow through with the things that they say, but then they're also going to keep showing up. That's really, really good.
Maybe somebody that has trust.
Trust. Do you mean like someone that Jesus can trust, or someone that like trusts Jesus? What do you mean?
I think just in general.
Nice.
Both are good.
Nice.
I really like the fake one. I really resonate with that. I guess it's on. I don't know. That's really like it. Sounds like a really good quality.
Dude, that's fantastic. It's fantastic. So the trust, and then both ways, trusting Jesus, and Jesus can see that they're trustworthy, they're faithful, they're following through. Seeing in the chat someone that follows, someone that's willing to follow. Fantastic. Really good. They're willing, they're loving. I'm seeing in the chat. These are good, guys. These are good. You guys aren't like holding back. You guys just jumping in with it. Anything else? Any other qualities that you think, man, these are things that Jesus is looking for?
I was gonna say willingness, but I feel like it's already kind of.
Yeah, it's in there. That's good. That's really, really good. So for the next several weeks, we are going to be breaking open some of Jesus's most profound teachings, things that honestly don't make sense. It'll be from a famous passage of scripture that even is in a lot of secular university textbooks. It's just attributed as a really beautiful piece of writing. It's called the Sermon on the Mount, and it's found in Matthew 5-7. So it's several chapters, but we are only going to be dealing with chapter 5, 1-12. So for the next several weeks, we are going to camp in just those spots. And basically, these teachings are calling people out of religion, and a religion that's based primarily on appearance, and he's welcoming people into something that's more intimate, something that's deeper. How many of you guys know anyone and that you've ever met or you've ever seen, even in moments, that was pretending? Have you ever seen somebody pretend?
Yeah.
If you're honest, have you ever been the one that was pretending?
Yeah. What do you mean by pretending?
Pretending, like presenting some kind of false front.
Oh,
Like they say I'm one thing, but then they're actually something else back behind that. Not like I'm trying hard and I'm not perfect, but Jesus in these talks is calling people to authentic life. The Beatitudes speak to the inside. These 12 verses, they're speaking to the inside. And I can guarantee you that you're not going to like all of it. But I think that's maybe part of the point. Maybe sometimes when we don't actually love something, or when it rubs us the hardest, those are some of the things that Jesus needs to be working on us in. So hold on, and we're going to jump in. And if your toes get a little bit sore in the process, that's okay. Continue to be a part of the conversation. But remember, the Sermon on the Mount, and specifically the verses that we're going to talk about today, are all about resolving contradictions in a lifestyle of appearance and heart. The Beatitudes are a really cool list of qualifications Jesus wants in his followers. Remember that. So as we're going through over the weeks, the Beatitudes are an organized list of the qualities that Jesus is looking for in his followers. Let's check the list out really quick. So we're in Matthew chapter 5. We'll start in verse 3 and we'll go all the way through, and then we'll focus on one for today. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful," it says, "for they'll be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and say falsely all kinds of evil against you because of me." Verse 12 wraps it up. "Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven," it says. "For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So that's the list, and we're going to just spend time with 5:3, the very first one. But we live in a world today that is fixated on appearances, where we can create whatever identity or story we want on media, on social media, and sell it as the truth, right? I can do this, or I can do that, or whatever, but in dramatic contrast to that lifestyle, and in setting a trend for the whole Sermon on the Mount, every one of these Beatitudes that we look through Every one of these qualities that Jesus is looking for in a follower, it deals with the internal, with the inside. All right, so I'm not trying to be like all third grade and be all touchy-feely and stuff, but why do you think Jesus is concerned with what's on the inside?
And that's what matters.
You're saying because that's what matters? Okay.
Because from my personal understanding and relationship, like that's what God sees. He sees your soul more so than what you have on the exterior. So
Okay.
your soul is like your intent in doing things.
Okay. Nice, because that's what God sees. Why is he more concerned about what's on the inside?
You can't fake what's on the inside.
Ooh, that's good. She said that you can't fake what's on the inside, that's real. That's a litmus test for who you actually are. You don't take selfies of your heart. If you figured out how to do that, that's creepy. I don't know. I'm seeing in the chat because you can't be good without a good heart. Awesome. That's really, really good. What's on the inside is going to eventually come out. Dude, those are great. Those are really, really great. I'm with you. I think that Jesus sees, and these qualities and the Beatitudes are heart focused because that's real, right? We can't fake that. That's a true presentation of what's going on inside. But if we aren't careful, the Beatitudes can sound like nonsense. Just as we were rattling through that list, you either like glazed and spaced out, or you tried to stay with me and maybe they didn't make any sense. But if we're not careful, they can sound like nonsense. In order to see them more clearly, we're going to need to take them apart. So each week, as we're diving into these Beatitudes, we're just going to take them apart and then come back and put them together. I'd like to give you a pointer, a pro tip. What I recommend is that you open a note in your phone. You open a note in your phone or some kind of journal thing, and then take a couple little notes as we're ripping this apart. So then you know how to make sure you put it back together again. So before we can kind of fix this thing, we're going to have to pull it apart. And if you don't remember how it went together, then putting it back together is going to be really difficult. But let's jump in. So we're in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 3, and we'll spend our whole time in verse 3. It says blessed, right? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So I learned very quickly that in the South, blessed was kind of unusual sort of term. Like when I grew up in Miami, blessed is like holy and glowing and stuff like this. But when people are like, bless your heart, that's actually like, dude, you're pathetic and you're going to need some divine intervention, right? If they're like, bless his heart, they're not like, you're holy. They're like, you're a mess, right? Like you need some kind of something. But we need to understand that when we're seeing Jesus say blessed in this context, what he's talking about is blessed or happy. You will have a sense of deep satisfaction. So when we think about that word blessed, we need to equate that means deep satisfaction. There'll be a sense of happiness, of joy beyond circumstance. So it says, blessed are the poor in spirit. This word poor means the opposite of rich. And I'm going to be going deep with you guys during these things, so try to hang with me. So the opposite of rich means having much, right? So then poor means having nothing or having very, very little. It means lowly. It means humble. So Jesus is saying, blessed are the poor, those who have little or nothing. But then he uses this word spirit. Blessed are the poor in spirit. How do you have nothing of a spirit? How do you have little of a spirit? I see your spirit is bigger. My spirit is small. Like what? What is that even about? What it's talking about when it's speaking to spirit, and Jesus' audience would have understood this, it means inside. Inside in heart and self-attitude. Blessed are the poor in spirit, those inside in heart and an attitude. And then it goes on to say, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven really simply can mean kingdom of heaven, or everything that actually really matters in life. So his audience were familiar with some of the teachings, the religious teachings at the time. So when Jesus references the kingdom of heaven to a potential follower, they would equate that as everything that actually really matters. So we've just ripped this apart. Let me put it back together in like a paraphrase version with these new kind of definitions. Blessed or happy are the people that identify their nothing and have nothing of true value because they'll inherit everything. Let me say it to you again. Blessed or happy are the people that identify their nothing or have nothing of true value because they're going to inherit everything. So basically, the first quality that Jesus is looking for is that we're delusional and that we pretend that we're not smart or great looking or live in the wealthiest country in the world, right? That's what he's looking for. Not exactly. Check this out. So if I had 1 cent in my hand, and then I had, I don't know, $2 billion in this hand, the 1 cent is still 1 cent, but in comparison, we'd be like, that's nothing, right? 1 cent to $2 billion would be like nothing, not even a drop in the bucket, not even a speck. What if in this hand I had a glass of water, regular 12-ounce, just glass of water? And what if this hand, metaphorically speaking, I had the Pacific Ocean? You'd be like, this glass of water, that's nothing. Like it's absolutely nothing in comparison, right? What if we had my son Cole in this hand? Because I feel like in every talk I have to start working in my son now until you guys are sick of him. In this hand, I had Cole's basketball experience and prowess, all right? And then in this hand, I had Kobe Bryant's. In comparison, Cole's basketball skill would be nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. I mean, he can't even hold a basketball. It would be like nothing, absolutely nothing. So in comparison to the God of all the universe, the creator of everything that exists, but he himself who was never actually created, I know, blows your mind, right? Kind of trippy. You and me, in comparison to him, are dust. We're dust. We're nothing in comparison. Great pep talk, coach. Thanks for that. I'm just gonna go out and rescue the world. That's really, really helpful. Thanks so much. Check this out. The first quality that Jesus is looking for in a follower isn't that you're Eeyore, all right? It's that you have an accurate picture of him, master of existence. We should relate to Jesus. We should relate to God that has all knowledge, all power forever. And in comparison to that, we will always just be dust. If we are ever more than dust, then we probably don't see him clearly. We probably still need to adjust the scales a little bit. Follow Jesus by seeing God as everything and ourselves as nothing in comparison. The first quality that Jesus is trying to say is important if you're going to follow me is you need to have a clear picture of who the Father is and who you are in comparison to that. That kind of sounds like the opposite of what is popular, right? That's kind of like the opposite of what we're taught a lot of times, isn't it? You're so good. You're the best. You get a trophy even when you lose, right? Don't we do that? Don't we tell people that? Why do you think Jesus values this quality?
Can't put yourself above the creator. You're supposed to trust in and look up to and look for strength in. You put yourself above them or see the worldly possessions as more than him. You are building to rely on him.
So if we're better than him, how do we trust in him? That's great. Good point. Good point. Think about it for a second. Why do you think Jesus values this quality? That one, that we're able to see him clearly. And two, we know how small we are in comparison. Why is that important if we're going to be a follower? I'm checking out the chat. It humbles the soul. That's good. That's good.
I think it also brings glory to God, that like, just like that he's so grand, and when we kind of grasp that, like, it brings glory to him.
He's grand, he's great. And when we try to wrap our brains around that, it brings him glory. Guys, I want to just suggest for a moment that there is a little bit of a sickness that exists in our world right now, and it's really, really strong in culture in this generation. And I even hesitate to name it, but I think for the sake of the scripture, I need to. A lot of us suffer from an idea or from a feeling that actually everything is about us. And when anything challenges that, we have a meltdown. We have like the utmost pushback, the don't come at me, bruh, the how could anything not be ultimately decided by me? And you see, I feel like this quality is important in a follower of Jesus because from the very beginning, what he's doing is he's addressing lordship. And we can't truly follow Jesus if we don't identify him as Lord, as the boss of our lives. And until we're willing to do that, until we're willing to allow him to call the shots and we stop calling the shots, there's not actually any following that's taking place. Jesus cuts that off at the very beginning, and he says that if you want to follow me, if you want to follow the teachings of my Father, you've got to recognize I am so big and I am qualified to be the boss. And in comparison, you are so small. And in fact, all of this stuff is about me. This idea of lordship will continue to bump in and out of the Beatitudes as we spend time talking about them and moving through them. We can't evaluate who we are in light of what we accomplish, or that we are better or worse than this guy or this gal. The truth is, in comparison to Jesus, we're all just the same, dust. When we try to increase or decrease our value based on the things that we do, or the way or degree that we feel like we level up against other people, we trick ourselves, because next to Jesus, next to that ocean, we will always just be a glass of water. And that is nothing in comparison. As a result of saying Jesus is everything, all of this is what we see, that I am all that I see. All of that is for God. When we can say that Jesus is everything and it's not actually about me, then what we're doing is we are opening up the floodgates for him to begin to funnel in true peace, true happiness, true contentment in our lives. When we humble ourselves and surrender the temptation to fabricate an artificial exterior, we position ourselves to be true disciples. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're going to go ahead and multiply into groups and to begin to process this idea just a little bit more. If you guys are checking us out, feel free to find an on-site location somewhere at Aston Peace campus, or direct message us either in the chat or on our Instagram. We'd love to connect you with a community core where you can be in person with all of this. We love you guys. Have a great night.